And we are live, folks. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Kevin, and welcome back to yet another Coinsider live stream. We do these Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 12 noon Eastern time. You already know when the next one is. So if you like these streams at all, then you know when exactly to join me each time. But before we dive in any further, please a quick mic check. Do I sound good? Do I look good? Let me know, and then we can go further. One top, one bottom. Okay. Got the mic check. Thank you. So, today, the main segment of the stream is going to be about top signals, top indicators. Which ones are actually useful and which ones are going to get you wrecked because they're BS and they're lucky, they're voodoo magic, and the influencers who push them are just engagement baiting or they're just plain stupid, right? That's the main segment of the day. However, we have a couple quick segments before that. Also, if you are watching the VOD, like watching the not the live stream, but afterwards, I will leave timestamps for you below so you can skip around to segments that you want to. Lastly, I think last time we weren't able to, we were so close to 100 likes on the stream. We were at like 94 or something. So please, guys, please, if you like this stream at all, if you want to support this channel and support me, then please like this stream either now or if you're watching it afterwards too. That would be greatly appreciated. All right, let's start with a quick market pulse segment. I'll keep this kind of quick, and then we'll go into the juicy topics. One sec. So, like you said, okay. Like Ion Trone was saying, there has been a bit of a correction lately. 3% for Bitcoin dropped to 115K. Ethereum, 3,600. And XRP dropped quite a bit. Like, let's check this out. Like, oh my goodness. XRP dropped quite a bit. Solana also dropped down. And some other ones. I really hope that hype drops like to 40 or below because I'm going to scoop up that like crazy, guys. Let me know in the chat what y'all are going to scoop up if this correct. I don't know if I'm going to get that opportunity, at least not now, or but we shall see. Okay, anyhow, let's look at some interesting charts on TradingView real quick as part of our market pulse segment. BTC dominance is, yeah, it's still kind of favoring alts like after this huge drop. There was a reversal, but then now it's kind of trying to see which direction it wants to go, right? Let's take a look at DXY, dollar strength index. Yeah, it's still low. Nothing really to write home about here. Let's look at Sol ETH. Sol ETH. Oh my God. Sol ETH is like, yeah, Sol ETH looks like it wants to drop further to like, where's the good line? Not a fib retracement. Just a straight horizontal line. Like it already, yeah. Looks like it wants to go further, like here or something like that. Okay. What else do I want to look at? Oh, besides Sol ETH, also altcoins in general versus ETH. Oh my good. ETH is still destroying altcoins in general. So right now, if you want altcoins exposure, then unless you're like a genius at picking, you're better off holding ETH right now. And I firmly believe that. And that's what I'm doing myself too. Who knows how low this can go? Look, it could go to any of these levels. This is altcoins versus ETH, right? This is the daily. So just something to keep an eye on. Bitcoin ETFs. We've had a few outflow days, but then an inflow day recently, right? Yeah, inflows. So that still looks positive. Funding rates, nothing too crazy here, because if you see a lot of like orange, dark orange on the right side, that means everyone is like levered long and like long, their balls out long, right? And that's when it gets dangerous. But right now, things look pretty chill. Liquidation heat map. Let's take a look at this real quick. There's a lot of longs to be liquidated at 114 and a lot of shorts to be liquidated at 117, right? 126 million and 143 million. So we could go even lower to liquidate some of these, right? That's not out of the picture here. This one is a new one I want to look at with y'all. Max pain for options. Max pain for options, right? This is a great chart from CoinGlass. Max pain for tomorrow is at 119,000, but there's not that much notional value. Here's a big max pain at August 1st is 116,000 for BTC. Max pain for August 29th is 112,000, 100,000. So a lot of max pain if we go lower throughout August, which is quite interesting to see. Now, this doesn't have to, like, this is just usually the max pain levels serves as a magnet, but we don't always have to get there. We don't always have to get there. That's not like a law in markets, right? It's just generally the market likes to inflict max pain on the options. And also some of these are small and like negligible. So it's not even that useful unless it's like a massive max pain area. And also this can change because this is 9/26/2025, right? So as we get closer, this could definitely change. The max pain level could definitely change as people buy more options for that expiry date. So anyhow, this was just a quick market pulse. I like doing this with y'all to get a sense of where we're at every stream in the market because things change fast, as we all know, right? But remember, the main segment of the day is which top indicators are actually useful and which are BS. But real quick, the big, beautiful news segment, I want to talk about this rumor or this news, very, very recent, by the way, of Galaxy dumping tens of thousands of dollars worth of BTC. That's what I want to chat about with you today. Check this out. Check this out. Okay, so this was like the kind of news. Galaxy Digital has already sold 68,000 BTC. It's like billions in sell pressure, and now has 12,000 BTC left to sell. This is when, let me just go back to CoinMarketCap real quick. This is good enough. This was when we had that drop, right? This drop right here. You see this drop? This was due to a bunch of the people worried about this huge selling, Galaxy Digital selling. That's what the rumor was, right? But, okay, so the ancient whale, it's the whale, the Satoshi era whale who moved that many BTC to Galaxy Digital. But it wasn't Galaxy Digital selling themselves, right? It wasn't Mike Novogratz selling. It's their clients who work with them doing OTC stuff. They've transferred batches to exchanges, Binance, Bitstamp, Bybit, OKX, and multiple independent addresses, possibly OTC buyers. There are still about 12,000 BTC unsold, but it's expected to have a limited impact on market liquidity. So that's what I'm saying, right, guys? This isn't Galaxy Digital liquidating their own corporate bags or their like proprietary holdings, right? They are acting as an intermediary, and they're it's the ancient whale, the Satoshi era whale, was using Galaxy Digital's OTC services to sell the BTC and manage it on behalf of this whale, right? And check this out. Actually, I'm going to show you back in trading view. Let's take a look at BTC. And let's add an indicator, RSI. RSI is a great, really, I have to join for free. Okay. But basically, okay, should I log in? Dang, I didn't want to log in, but okay, I'm not going to do that. Basically, just know that Bitcoin's RSI hit record lows. And it was really oversold last night during this whale FUD stuff. But also, check this out. They said Galaxy Digital CEO appeared on CNBC and said, "We believe more in ETH." Next move, they sold around 12K BTC worth 1.4 billion, dropping the price sharply. But this is like stupid because it wasn't Galaxy Digital selling. And he didn't even write it right. Digital Galaxy? It's Galaxy Digital. Oh my goodness. Okay, so don't listen to people like this who got it all wrong. It's not Galaxy Digital selling. It's their client. They're managing on behalf of their ancient whale client. Really interesting to look for this. Let's look at MVRV. Yes, MVRV, Sopper, Coin Value Stays Destroyed, R HODL. I'm going to have some hot takes here, Maverick. I'm going to have some hot takes here. And let's just go to the segment of the day. Which top indicators are actually useful? And I have some stuff to pull up here. I have some stuff to pull up here. So, okay, so first of all, actually no, let me stop sharing for a sec. First of all, let's get kind of centered here, okay? I think most top indicators are trash and they're going to be wrong. If you follow them, you're going to get wrecked. And most influencers who share them have no idea what they're talking about. That is my hot take. And the reason why is that, and you can say I'm saying the most dangerous words on earth, but the reason why is this time is different. This time, the market and the cycle really is different. Here's why. We got paper Bitcoin, right? We got ETFs that are a huge player in the market. We got all these treasury companies, and they're doing some financial engineering. Like you see Michael Saylor, he did like a stretch offering, and he had like that pyramid on his presentation. A lot of them are using OTC, over the counter these days. Also, retail is not a big participant in the cycle. It's mostly institutions that are coming to play, right? Miners have less effect than ever before in history, and their effect on the market is just going to diminish more and more. So a lot of those miner metrics may not work as well. Stable coins, remember, people were like, stable coins going up means bull market. Stable coins going down means bear market. It's not that simple. There's more and more real world adoption of stable coins. It's not just for degens to put it into DeFi protocols, okay? This time is different. And the market is much more mature these days and more liquid than ever before. So, and also Bitcoin is more affected by macro, by news, by regulation than ever before, when it was kind of a niche asset and Congress never even, like, politicians never even uttered the word, right? So I just gave you like 10 reasons why this time is different, and you can't rely on the same cycle top indicators that we have been for the past 3 cycles. Okay, I will bet you anything on this. Most of them are trash, and today we're going to talk about the ones that I think actually are logical and actually can work this cycle. But here, this is, let me show you this, okay? Let me show you this. It's not just me saying this. Ki Young Ju. He's the CEO of CryptoQuant. This is an analytics site, kind of like a Glassnode. But he says Bitcoin cycle theory is dead. My predictions are based on it. Buy when the whales accumulate, sell when retail joins. But this pattern no longer holds. Last cycle, whales sold to retail. This cycle, old whales sell to new long-term whales. Institutional adoption is bigger than we thought. Trading feels pointless. Holders now outnumber traders. My mistake ignoring the shift in my bull cycle is over, call. I sincerely apologize, blah, blah, blah. You see? CEO of CryptoQuant is saying that the cycles is no longer going to be the same as before. So here is why. 5 reasons or 5 things to keep in mind. Let me also stop. 5 things we want to look for in terms of indicators for the top. Okay? Or, okay, let me rephrase this. Why your top indicators likely suck. 5 reasons. 5 reasons. 1, they lag the top at times by weeks, by even months. Like, it could fire after we're down like 40% from the top already, in which case, why is that even useful, right? Number 2, they are lucky or voodoo magic, like the pi cycle top indicator. Complete luck, complete BS, complete voodoo magic. That's not going to hold this cycle. I am so confident about that. Also, some indicators are good for context, right? They give you context of where we are, how overheated things are, etc. But they're not great for marking the actual top, right? Number 4, a lot of the indicators, like I said, do not account for the new regime with different players and different long-term holders, different dynamics. They don't account for that. And number 5, ideally, okay, I'm going to share with you some indicators I'm actually going to look at, but ideally we look for confluence regardless, which means it's not only one of them that we look at a mix of them. So let me pull up some indicators. First of all, these cycle top indicators, Puel multiple, pi cycle. This is the pi cycle. This is complete BS. Okay, it got lucky a few times. It's the 111-day moving average and 350-day moving average times 2. Someone made up this BS. Like, sure, it got lucky a few times. This is like, what's even the logic behind this? Like, 350 times 2 and 111. Why not 100-day? Why not just 350 instead of times 2, right? There's no logical answer for this. This is complete lucky voodoo magic. Not going to work this time. Rainbow chart. People just added a new layer once it went below, right? Remember this? They added like a purple zone when it went below. All these things, only like very, very minimal of them are useful and only for confluence, in my opinion. All these things, like Mayer multiple, reserve risk, blah, 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 not going to work that well this time around. I'm pretty confident about that. Oh, cool. They didn't get triggered yet. Well, if you just wait for them to trigger before you sell, you're going to miss the top. I'm willing to bet you guys on this. Oh, wait. I want to move this to this other side. Whoops. Here, too, bull market peak indicators. ETF to BTC ratio, bubble index, RSI 22-day. No, guys, no, this is not going to be helpful for you guys to wait until these things before the top is in. It's not going to be helpful for the reasons I stated before. Now, this aggregate theme by Colin Talks Crypto is a little better, but I still don't like a lot of the things that are included here. And I think he's going to miss the top 2 if he really waits for this to go to like 95 to 100, which is, I believe, is what he said on X. So what things do I actually want to look for? Okay. Let me just stop screen for share screen for a sec. What things do I actually want to look for? So one thing I think is smart to look at is retail euphoria, but not in the same way as before. I've been adamant with people. They're like, every time Coinbase has hit #1 in the App Store, that's marked the top. I do not think Coinbase is going to hit #1 in the App Store at all for this next few years or however long you want to call the cycle. Okay, but I do think there are some stuff that could be interesting. I think App Store ranking, yes, for like Coinbase, maybe Phantom or Moonshot app, right? Those new like, or maybe Base app. But I wouldn't wait until it hits #1. Maybe like number 10 or like top 20. But #1, I don't think, because this cycle is different in terms of participants. Retail isn't going to come in with the same amount of force as it did in 2017 and 2021. It's a different time period, a different regime. Back then, we had funny money, everyone locked in home and trading, right? We're never going to have that this cycle. So I think App Store ranking, but adjusted. I think the Rolex indicator may be interesting too. Let's see. Let me show you guys this. I think this is interesting too. Rolex indicator. This could show us a sign of retail excess. Do I think it's going to get up to this same level? No, but it could put a little bit higher and then start rounding off. Then we can know that. Then we can know that retail is getting quite euphoric. Also, another thing I think is useful is by looking at dead sectors, by paying attention to dead sectors rocketing. I've long said that when dead sectors like dead coins or like NFTs or metaverse, if the metaverse projects start rocketing like crazy, the top is super close, in my honest opinion. So these are some things. So like looking at retail, I think is important. It's not the only thing I want to look at, but it is adjusted retail sentiment stuff. Younger people are not into Rolex. Yeah, but it's like a watch indicator, right? An aggregate watch indicator. But yeah, another thing. So this is what I said, right? There's a lot of paper Bitcoin these days, like ETFs, options, futures. Those are all paper Bitcoin. They're not actual Bitcoin moving. You're trading a derivative of Bitcoin, right? That's what I mean by paper Bitcoin. Because it's so dominant in the market these days, I want to look at some of those things to tell when we're near the top. Like massive open interest and out of the money calls, especially quarterlies. If people are expecting Bitcoin to absolutely keep on rocketing, they're going to buy a lot of out of the money calls, and it's going to have massive open interest there. That's one sign. Number two is upside skew in IV. That's a lot of like fancy terms, but basically it's saying that the calls are much more expensive than the equivalent puts. In that case, it's too much euphoria. And then three is high gamma exposure. This is people selling options are forced to buy the underlying asset rapidly as the price moves just to stay hedged. So those are some options market stuff to keep an eye on. And you could keep an eye on them on like CoinGlass, for example. CoinGlass has good like here, let me share my screen real quick. Like CoinGlass has good like Max Payne, options OI, right? There's a lot of good stuff here you can keep an eye on. So options market is one big thing that I think we should keep an eye on. And also, if the price approaches expiry for those options and it's way above the max pain level, that's also a sign that the top is near. On the other hand, we can also take a look at also on here. See, CoinGlass is our best friend. Where's our perpetual futures? funding rate. BTC funding rate. Yeah, when this gets crazy, token margin. When this gets crazy, when the funding rate for perps, everyone's going long on like 10x, 20x leverage, that is going to funding rates at record highs. That is a sign. Also, if the spot price lags the futures or ETFs net asset values by like 2% or more for multiple days, that means that paper Bitcoin is being bought way more aggressively than the real spot Bitcoin. That is another sign. Now, I know that Maverick keeps talking about on-chain. That's the thing. I think on-chain is needed for confluence, but I wouldn't rely on it too much by itself, just because, like I said, the regime has changed. Just like Ki Young Ju, the CEO of CryptoQuant, said, it's different players. We can't just look at whale activity. And when things are done OTC, when things are done with paper Bitcoin and things like that, when things are done with financial engineering, like MicroStrategy and other treasury companies, that really diminishes the impact of pure on-chain stuff. But I do still want to look at a few on-chain things, not as many as before, but a few on-chain things. So one thing I want to look at is MVRV Z-score. Do I think it's going to go all the way like boom rocket ship over the red? No. But if we get close, again, if we get close to the red, it doesn't even need to touch because this is an arbitrary line. If it gets close, I would be really worried and would take a lot of profit off the table. So what are we even looking at here with the MVRV Z-score? MV stands for market value. This is the total market cap of Bitcoin currently. RV is realized value. This is the sum of the value of all coins at the price they last moved on chain. So this is basically what all the holders actually paid for their coins. So the point is, when you compare these two things, you can see if Bitcoin's current market cap is way above what most holders paid for it. Which, if that's the case, that means that there's a lot of profits in the system that could potentially be taken, right? Like when this is close to red, that means everyone is in profit. Everyone is in crazy profits, right? And in that case, that is a high risk that the top is near and people are going to start taking those profits, right? We're not anywhere near that yet, but I could see us getting to 6, maybe 6.5, maybe even close to 7 this cycle potentially. That's one thing I think is still useful. Also, another thing is RSI for Bitcoin. This is just a standard. Okay, is this going to give me? Okay, this is just a standard momentum indicator. But if RSI starts to get super high on the weekly again, like above 90 or close to 90, that is a telltale sign that momentum is so strong and people are getting into euphoria, right? So I think that in terms of on-chain, MVRV, what I just showed you, encapsulates a lot of the on-chain stuff that we should care about. And in terms of charts and technicals, weekly RSI is also a great thing to look for. And we use these together with the other stuff I've mentioned, right? We use these together with the options, the perps, things we want to look at, and the retail stuff like App Store ranking, watch indicator, and dead sectors rocketing. There are a few other things that we could take a look at. One is like buy the rumor, sell the news event. Like remember, during one cycle, the Coinbase IPO marked the top. Now, I don't really know what that would mean here. Maybe like other IPOs like Kraken, Gemini, etc. I don't really know. Maybe like some treasury company doing something crazy, but that's something to keep an eye on. Buy the rumor, sell the news event. And then another one is it has to be this DXY, right? Like this has been going down for, let me make it even the weekly, for quite some time. But eventually, once the bottoms starts rounding out and really starts like, really starts like reversing, that's when we got to get worried. That's when the top may be in, because DXY, like it or not, matters a lot for risk assets. So that's something we want to keep an eye on. Oh wait, I completely was sharing the wrong thing. Here you go. Right, and then the last thing I think we should keep an eye on is Bitcoin dominance. Like, yeah, we had this cool mini alt season and whatnot, but once it really does something like this, that is when I'd be really worried that the bottom or that the top is very, very near. Right? If Bitcoin dominance makes a move. So to recap, guys, there are a few things in terms of indicators, top indicators, that I think will work better this cycle than all the ones that people are keeping an eye on from previous cycles. Okay. Yes, some retail stuff like App Store ranking, watch indicator, and dead sectors rocketing, but a lot of options market stuff like the OTM calls, upside skew, high gamma exposure, max pain not being hit, right? And perps, funding rates at record highs, MVRVZ score on chain, like Maverick wants, right? Weekly RSI at overheated levels. That's a technical chart indicator. Maybe some buy the rumor, sell the news event, US dollar index bottoming and then starting to reverse convincingly, and then a sustained Bitcoin dominance drop. Like those are a mix. I don't think we need to look at all of them to call the top, right? Yeah, exactly. This is the point. That's the point, New Frontiers. A lot of Bitcoin move between institutions. They're just changing the database numbers in like Galaxy Digital, for example, custodian, without anything moving on chain. So no. I don't think Google search is going to work well, because why do people need to search about Bitcoin anymore? They've known Bitcoin. They've searched it in the past. I don't think that's going to be a reliable indicator anymore. So yeah, that is what I think. Don't listen to those influencers sharing the old indicators, like old cycle indicators, blah blah blah. Complete BS. Like, let me show you an example. Complete BS. This guy is a complete clown. Here, I have an example for you. I know this because I followed his stuff before and it didn't work. Yeah, this Fibonacci and Newpol, stochastic phases, all BS, logarithmic Bollinger bandwidth, all BS. I mean, it's not, and look at this, having cycle theory sine waves. Oh my goodness, this is going to get you wrecked if you follow this shit. And people actually like buy his paid Patreon just to see this BS. It doesn't work. I tried to follow it before. It doesn't work. Magic bands. Y'all are going to get wrecked if you follow people like this. Y'all are going to get absolutely wrecked. Guaranteed. Okay. So what I want to do real quick now is move on to the KOL call tracking segment. Some people are going to be wrong soon. Yeah, but we have a few more days left for these to happen. Let's see. Okay, so guys, if you are on X and you see anything that you want us to track, then just tag. You see this right here? Tag us on X under any KOL post to track it. So, for example, right here, I tagged Retail DAO. He says 6 months, meme coin super cycle rocket ship, Murad. We are going to track this together right now. Let's see. Murad. Right here. Murad. What date is this? This is July 25th, 2025. Meme coin super cycle within 6 months. 12/31/2025. TBD meme coins. Right? Look, I just tracked this. We're tracking everything. We're going to give people a score, give them props if they're right, call them out when they're wrong. Okay, let's see. Track this call. BTC dominance to 56%. Crypto bot. Whoops. Sorry, let me get a screenshot of this. Crypto boss. July 25th, 2025. BTC dominance to 56%. BTC Dom. BTC TBD. And what time frame? August, September. So let's give this until mid-September. Okay, let's see. Who else tagged me? Track this, please. ETH target 8K. Okay, bold call, bold call. Conservative target 8K for ETH. That'd be crazy. Wolf. What date is this? Today. July 25, 2025. ETH conservative target 8K. Okay, Wolf. ETH conservative target. Guys, if you want me to track calls, tag Retail DAO on X, and we will track the calls of any influencer you notice. Let's see who else. Retail DAO track this. Income sharks. A big stock dip. Okay, I like this. This is a bearish call for next year. Income sharks. What date is this? Is this 22 hours ago? 24th, 2025. Big stock market dip in 2026. Bear market until midterms. Income sharks is actually quite good, so I can't wait to see if that happens or not. Stocks. There we go. Let's see what else. Anyone tag me? Anyone tag Retail DAO? Moon Carl. Was he joking about this? Bull run is over. It was fun while it lasted. Okay, he was joking about it. I'm not even going to tag that. I'm not even going to track that. He was just engagement baiting. Retail DAO, track this, please. Oh, he deleted. You see this shit? You see this? They're deleting their posts because they don't want it tracked. So if you guys see any post based on his technicals, I guess, his charts, his charting. Yeah, folks, as you go around crypto Twitter, crypto X, and you see people post crazy stuff, bearish or bullish, tag Retail DAO, right? Track this, please, like this. You see, track this, please. And we'll add it to our KOL call tracker and create a rating system and a history of calls for all the top KOLs. So we can call them out. We can give them props when they do good, and we could call them out when they suck and shame them, right? That's what we can do together. Just tag Retail DAO, and Ansem actually has some decent calls lately. Let's take a look at Ansem. Ansem right here. Ansem has been retweeting a lot of stuff. I guess he's bullish ENA, but that's not really a altcoin chart. Galaxy. Well, bullish on Galaxy. I own that. Galaxy. Okay. Becker doesn't really make any calls. He just like says his alt season like every week. You know, it's kind of a joke. Yeah, I do screenshot them, but you need to tag us. Folks, you know, if you tag me now, if you tag at Retail DAO now, we will get the notifications and we can add calls here. But calls to this tracker. Let me see if there was anything else. No, I don't see anything else for now. But folks, like I said, we're adding to this. A lot of these are about to expire, and we're going to give them either right or wrongs. And yeah, we do have past info right here. Yeah, we're building this list from scratch. Athena has to do with DeFi stablecoins. You know, stablecoins is hot, and they're a great DeFi option. But anyhow, let's see. Let me move on to the change my mind segment. This is going to be a fun one. Change my mind, chat. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Bitcoin treasury companies will end in disaster. We looked at MicroStrategy's setup, and they do it quite in a resilient manner. But a lot of these other ones coming up aren't as good at financial engineering as Saylor is, and they're going to cause a huge bear market. They're going to be the next kind of trigger to have like reflexive selling in a death spiral per se. So check this out. Sunny Decree even wrote, I just finished my research on the top 100 Bitcoin treasury companies, and now 100% convinced this will hit us hard once the bull cycle ends. Yeah, I agree. That's why I wrote this. So don't be the ones who buy into the narrative that this time is different. All these institutions are diamond hands, blah, blah, blah. A lot of these treasury companies will have to sell based on how they're set up. They're not set up in as good of a manner, as solid of a manner as MicroStrategy is. Not everyone is Michael Saylor, and he's been doing this for years, not just jumping into the hot trend like most of those companies are. So yeah, but while we do have the fun, you guys should join us at Retail DAO by using the QR code here. So what is Retail DAO, right? Well, Retail DAO it's a home for savvy retail investors, for people who don't only want to ape into what like Ansem tells you or other KOLs, but if you actually want to discuss, share notes, share opportunities, and just like have a group of really supportive retail investors with you, then you got to join us at Retail DAO, right? Like it could be a bunch of different, like we talk about stocks, we talk about crypto, of course, memes. Sometimes we're not opposed to memes if you have a thesis about it, right? Like someone shared with me Peng Bulu. Let's see how this is doing. Ooh, this went even higher. They shared with me Peng Bulu like over here. And now it's like rocketing for me. Ooh, I'm in big profit. I did take some profit off the table, but this is great to see. Thank you so much, Retail DAO, right? I mean, is everything that we share going to do this? No, sometimes it's bad, but we help each other out. Like, for example, someone got in on the Pump Fund pre-sale, and I convinced them hard to sell and take profits. And look at what Pump has been doing since. Oh my goodness, this looks nasty, right? He took profits and was in profit. He said, thank you so much. We keep each other's heads on straight in Retail DAO. That's why you guys should join us at Retail DAO, because like, do we promise everything we're going to share in there is going to be profits? No, but we are supportive. We are savvy. We care about research. We care about analysis. We care about formulating a thesis, right? That's the most important part. And like that's what we're more strength in numbers. Our crowdsourced wisdom is better than what any guru or paid group. You should quit all your paid groups and join Retail DAO. Crypto isn't lonely, right? Get real feedback on your ideas, debate strategies. And we also have DAO to earn. We have a token gated system, right? And you can earn rewards if you're helpful to people. That's DAO to earn. Inside the DAO, we have a dedicated airdrop thread, crowdsourced alpha, real-time discussions, charts and signals for pro-only members, and institutional level research reports via Crypto EQ for VIP only. How to join real easy, get some ETH on base, swap for retail, at least 20K tokens, which is quite cheap, and join our Discord, verify, and collab land. Basic tier is really cheap. This is like less than 20 bucks. And if you don't like it, you could sell at any time. Basic tier to see what's going on. But if you want to upgrade to pro tier, you get charts and trading channel and priority for giveaways and deals. In VIP tier, you get access to Crypto EQ Premium as well, and VIP only whales channel. And you can read some testimonials yourself and some FAQ, like what is retail? Is this legit? This site has everything. All you need to do is scan the thing on top. All you got to do is scan this thing to access the website, or just in the description below. Yeah, Pump Run GG. I'm so happy I wrote a thread convincing people in the DAO who got in on the TGE to sell and take profits. I'm so proud of that. That's the whole point. That's what we do in Retail DAO. We help each other out. That's the point. We're a group of savvy retail investors, and we would love to have you guys in there. I'm farming Hyperliquid number 2 or season 3, I guess. Monad. I'm going to talk about the Monad airdrop that's going to happen soon as well. The TGE. But folks, do not scan the pic. Oh yeah, don't scan the picture, just the QR code. But folks, I forgot to mention this. Goal is 100 likes on the stream. I humbly ask you to help me out, help this channel out. If you like the stream, please smash that like button. And if you're watching the VOD afterwards, please like it as well. Happy Friday. You guys know when I'm going to see you next. It's on Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday, 12 noon Eastern time, USA time, same time. If I'm not here, I'll try to let you know, but I am going to be here on Monday. Cheers. Have a great weekend, folks.